Nigeria and Germany renew pledge to improve on relations. Gas flaring. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria advocate castigatory measures for defaulters. And on boosting food production, federal government mobilizes for active participation in irrigation farming. Hello and welcome. This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja and I'm Chinenye Nwoye. Nigeria says it will not only sustain its relationship with Germany, but improve on it. President Bola Tinubu, while hosting the German President, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, emphasized that such is needed now that the country is going through a transformational period that will eventually enable it to achieve the desired goal. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier says Nigeria remains a major partner with a European country and will support Africa's most populous country stabilize its economy.
That is derivable, and the benefit derivable from the energy collaboration. We build a relationship on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Germany has de-risked the investment opportunity in energy to really help Nigeria. And I commend Germany for that effort. And we have untied all bureaucracies, maybe except one item that is remaining in the area of sustainable resource, while we equally promoting the possibility of alternative source of energy.
And to the ECOWAS sub-region now. As the ECOWAS Regional Action Plan on the fight against terrorism concludes this year, the Mediation and Security Council wants a speedy evaluation to chart a new course for regional security. This was the major thrust of the 53rd Ordinary Session of the Council meeting in Abuja. Kevin Ebonoye reports.
The Regional Security Action Plan was put together to help member countries combat threats of terrorism and violent extremism. But as the life of the action plan runs out, security threats remain a challenge in many ECOWAS countries. So, a new security architecture is needed to continue the fight and secure member states. This meeting is to find a path towards that objective.
Without stability, the aspirations of our people for prosperity and progress will remain unfulfilled. Thus, we must redouble efforts to strengthen governance frameworks and promote inclusive, peaceful political transitions.
Over the years, this body, which is the Mediation and Security Council, has contributed to upholding these values and principles and to the successes we recorded in the restoration of political stability, order, peace and security. This is highly commendable.
Deliberations here are to be scaled up to the level of Ministerial Council and that of the Authority of Heads of States summits for consideration. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebonoye, NTA News.
Concerned persons are advocating better enforcement and punitive measures on companies and individuals defaulting Nigeria's gas flaring laws. They made the comments on Good Morning Nigeria while analyzing a current bill before the House of Representatives. Alika Okpanachi Ariwa reports.
Itemizing some of the objectives of the bill, Guest on Good Morning Nigerian says gas flaring is an environmental nuisance that inflicts injuries on individuals and communities. They insist it must be tackled properly. They suggest the use of technology such as metering, as well as enhanced infrastructure, better funding, and implementation of laws as necessary steps in addressing the problem.
The seriousness, that is the seriousness and the commitment of the government is the problem.
The general view of the bill is it seeks to put a stop to this unwarranted gas flaring, which is life-threatening, and some penalties have been spelled out.
They taxed gas companies on accountability in their operations, especially in ensuring zero gas flaring and greenhouse emissions. They also advised regulatory agencies to do more to point out and discipline defaulters.
The case is that there are certain fundamentals that we have not addressed as a nation. And that's why, if you do not address the basics, what you do after that will just be come to naught in terms of what accrues to you, in terms of benefits and things like that.
Gas flaring is a necessary evil when you are drilling for oil and gas. So these are combustible gases that if you don't take them away, it will affect the production of oil. It can lead to explosion and all that. So, but the challenge is for a poor nation like us, we should be able to harness it.
The guests believe if the bill is well implemented, the impact on the value chain will be huge and will also help transform the country's gas fortunes, attract foreign investments, and fight climate change. In Abuja, Alika Ogbanachi, Arua, NTA News.
Coming from the lessons learned from implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, legal experts saddled with developing appropriate frameworks for an efficient judicial process want a fixed tenure for heads of courts to ensure accountability. This was at a review meeting in Abuja on the national minimum standards for effective justice delivery.
Of the national anthem by this group of stakeholders in law enforcement signifies their desire for a nation where no man is oppressed and truth is upheld at all times. Thus, the meeting in the nation's capital is reviewing progress made by the 36 states and the FCT in the implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act using its national minimum standards.
The reason we have that act, the reason we have adopted to of ourselves these minimum standards is so that we can have a system that works efficiently, that treats people with humaneness.
We urge the anti-graft agencies to focus more on prevention of corruption and economic crimes.
It's supposed to be a correctional center now, based on our new act, not a prison. It's to help people rehabilitate them back into the society after they've served their terms.
The forum also observed the positive effects that the AJA has had on justice delivery, how it has hastened the conviction of persons alleged of criminal conduct, and the forfeiture of illicit assets to government coffers. In Abuja, Olaboderewa, NTA News.
With the onset of the dry season, the federal government is mobilizing stakeholders for active participation in irrigation farming in accordance with its policy framework to boost food security. The federal government reinforced this position at a consultative meeting in Lafia. Aliyu Tijani reports that the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation was represented.
With the theme, Sustainable Irrigation and Drainage System Management for Food Sufficiency, the conversation x-rayed the role irrigation and drainage system play in nation's food security and agricultural productivity. Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation is leading the conversation as Governor Abdullahi Sule declares the workshop an annual general meeting open as he assures of state government support to boosting irrigation farming in the state. Represented by Commissioner for Water Resources, the governor says Nasarawa state government has recently harvested 6,000 rice farms in Jangwa to boost food sufficiency in the state, and plans are on the way to commence planting for the dry season farming.
The state is planning to ensure that half dam is constructed in each of the 30 local government councils in the state in order to boost this irrigation system of farming.
Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation represented says the workshop and annual general meeting will serve as a platform to access progress and chart a way forward. He calls on participants to explore innovative solutions to the challenges facing the water sector, especially irrigation and drainage system.
It is aimed at enhancing the capacity of smallholder farmers, boosting agricultural production, and ensuring efficient use of water resources.
Stakeholders say functional and resilient irrigation infrastructure require enhancing the capacity of local farmers and water management specialists as they made a case for adequate maintenance of infrastructure, update technology to make the sector more effective. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
Police Staff College Jos Williams Adebowale says their commitment to excellence and dedication to service will undoubtedly shape the future of policing in Nigeria. He stated this while addressing graduates of Tactical Leadership and Command course at the Police Staff College Jos. Ndeyang Yang has more.
The Tactical Leadership and Command course was organized for the officers to reaffirm their commitment to building a safer Nigeria through the principles of proactive policing. It is in line with the theme of the course, Proactive Policing, Building Safety Through Prevention. Apart from participants' normal course content in professional, liberal, and legal studies, they were engaged in peace maintenance and enforcement, as well as security of critical infrastructure in Nigeria.
I am sure that as we are leaving this place, we are going to bring that change that is needed in the Nigerian police force.
This course should be a continuous one because we have gained a lot from it.
The commandant adds that continuous training and education are essential to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of law enforcement.
With regards to the theme of the course, proactive policing, building safety through prevention, for the officers to note that they'll have to ensure that they prevent crisis before they occur.
I'm convinced that when they go back, they will not go back the same. I will charge them up to impact what they have learned here on their subordinates.
He expressed appreciation to the Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, and his management team for their commitment to excellence. In Jos, Ndeyan and Abuja, NTA News.
Here is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We'll take a break here. More reports in a moment. Do stay.
The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, FNIPR, cordially invites Commissioners of Information and Orientation and Strategy, Permanent Secretaries, stakeholders in the information sector, public communication managers, marketing communicators, and the general public to the 48th edition of the National Council on Information and National Orientation, holding in Kaduna City, Kaduna State. The National Council is the highest policy decision body in the sector and is expected to deliberate on the theme, Enhancing Public Information Management for Inclusive Governance. With the renewed hope agenda in focus and make critical decisions, the council meeting is scheduled as follows. Dates: 11th December 2024, arrival. 12th December 2024, technical sessions. 13th December 2024, council meetings. Venue: Hotel 17, number 6 Tafawa Balewa Way, Lafia Road, Kaduna City, Kaduna State. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Mrs. Comfort Ajiboye, Director, Overseeing Office of the Permanent Secretary. Announcer.
This world is not my home.
I'm just a passing through.
The family of late Chief Peter Adebola Alo cordially invites you to the laying of Mrs. Eunice Olaito Alo, who slept in the Lord on November 13, 2024. Funeral rites, Wake Keep, 12th December 2024, venue number YA 117 Ebala Road, before Ileayo Church by the river, time 4 p.m. Burial rites, 13th of December 2024, venue CAC Abala Itura District Headquarters, behind Adoko Shopping Complex, Ebala Road in Leisure, Osun State, time 10 a.m. Interment follows immediately at Rasmond Event Center, PPE 22 Ileja in Madim Ileisha, Osun State. Announcer, family.
As this year draws to a close, we would like to express our sincere gratitude for your continued support. From breaking news to heartwarming stories, we are committed to bringing you credible content and delivering captivating programs that keep you glued to your screens. Our team is committed to providing exceptional service to delight our clients. We say thank you to those who have supported us through the year, from government agencies to corporate clients, political parties, religious bodies, and, most importantly, our viewers. As we welcome the new year, we look ahead with a promise to bring you the best in broadcasting as we continue this journey with you. Season's greetings from all of us at NTA.
Many thanks for staying on. The federal government has restated its commitment to drive Nigeria's economy through pragmatic policies, including the tax reform bill. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, re-emphasized this, among others, at the International Press Institute Nigeria Annual Conference. Ayodeji Makinde reports.
The faces, voices, and fingers that have molded and are shaping Nigeria's social, political, and cultural landscapes are here in Abuja. The theme for the annual conference of International Press Institute Nigeria is democracy, media freedom, and the imperative of protecting the Nigerian civic space. Professor Tony Iradia explains the need to have legal backing that empowers freedom of the press. He identifies lingering challenges in the media space while proffering solutions in an overregulated environment.
If we can do some level of inward looking, we will find that so much of what is wrong with the media is self-made. So if we understand the needs of each of these forms, we'll be doing a better work for democracy.
Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris acknowledges the increasing role of media in preserving Nigeria's democratic values. The FG spokesperson calls for healthy debates, objective criticisms, and respect for the rights of other people as President Bola Tinubu's 8 key priority areas are on course.
The tax reform initiative of this administration, which will go a long way towards simplifying Nigeria's existing tax regimes and making compliance easier, while also reducing the tax burden on the most vulnerable Nigerians. A recurring highlight of the reform is the introduction of several new tax exemptions that will benefit various categories of individuals and businesses, the media industry inclusive.
Other speakers set the template for panel discussions, which featured experts from the police and other stakeholders. In Abuja, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
The International Center for Investigative Reporting, ICIR, has recognized 6 exceptional fellows at the closing ceremony of its Open Contacting Reporting project. Usman Zuberi reports that the project is aimed at strengthening the capacity of Nigerian journalists to report critically on budgetary and procurement processes, promoting transparency and accountability across all levels of government.
According to available data released by the ICPC, more than 60% of the corruption cases that happen in Nigeria occur through procurement process. This remains one of the biggest channels by which people loot public funds.
And this monster can be fought if all of us, those in government, those in private sector, the civil society, and members of the public, we come together, we can be able to fight this monster. So in my view that if we take out corruption, we will survive.
Us are just doing it out of our own passion to report these things. We're not doing it because of the money. If you're doing it because of the money, you will not get anything.
The International Center for Investigative Reporting said the project began 7 years ago, intending to hold government and organizations accountable, especially on procurement process. These stories have exposed irregularities in contract awards, procurement fraud, and mismanagement of public funds. It also prompted reforms, improved adherence to procurement laws, and heightening public scrutiny of government expenditures.
If we don't deal with procurement fraud, which is a whole lot contributing to corruption in Nigeria, then whether we are civil society, whether we are media, whether we are government, whether we are anti-corruption agencies, we are not serious yet with fighting corruption.
The project has so far trained 300 journalists across Nigeria on open contact reporting and recorded more than 500 quality investigative reports from journalists across the country. In Abuja, Usman Zuberi, NTA News.
The National Assembly is demanding a comprehensive report on the state of census-sensitive materials stored at the state's offices of the Central Bank of Nigeria nationwide and the FCT. Members, House of Representatives Committee on National Identity and Population made the demand during an inspection of census materials at the CBN FCT office. Olusheye Adeabo reports.
In February 2023, leadership of the National Population Commission inspected and took delivery of sensitive census materials for population and housing census exercise fixed for May 2023 and then dispatched to all central banks in states across the country and the FCT. Almost 24 months after the warranty on the devices is expired, which now puts question mark on their functionality.
Because of the time we kept it, decided to run the pilot test on their conditions.
Members of the National Assembly are now agitated over the delayed exercise, and the House of Representatives Committee on National Identity and Population is earnestly demanding for more clarification.
We saw it, and we were of mixed reaction because one, this asset is staying over 1 year, and we are not happy. Federal government have expended over 260 billion on this, and we as member of parliament, we will not be happy for this to just go down the drain. So we'll be waiting for their report, and as soon as we go into the report, we will engage the leadership of the National Assembly so that we engage the executive.
All the equipments are intact, and we are going to carry out comprehensive assessment of the devices. And at the end of the day, I want to assure Nigerians that the Population Commission is still ready for the next census.
This is a scientific process. You cannot just come and say this is the condition of tablets. So by the time we conduct this test, we know the failure rate in terms of the power banks and in terms of the tablets. we can then give a report and make some assumption based on the whole 760,000 tablets we have across the 36 states and FCT. But they gave us that we should finish it by December so that we'll be able to give them a report.
The legislators are quite upbeat that it is practically possible to develop a verifiable national demography through a generated census data and pledged to work with the executive to ensure the pending national headcount project gets a new date. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Nwoye.